2, move away from the fundamentals and the learn to train stage. That learn to train stage is anywhere from 8 to 11, 8 to 12-year-olds. We'll divide that up into 2 areas. The objective of this stage is continue to work on overall sports skills, the fundamental movement patterns, push, pull, speed, agility, performing exercises in air, land, so air being the acrobatic, somersaults, handstands, if they can do that, land, water, swimming, snow, ice activities, sports. And then this is the time where you can really start to spend a little more time on developing sport-specific skills. So 2 stages broke this down. The early stage, 10U components. This is going to be the time where, in terms of educating the athletes on performance, taking the time to show them the proper way. Many kids today, if they come, and you probably noticed this, they'll come to their training session, and it's supposed to be at 7 o'clock. What time do they usually come? 7 o'clock. They might come at 7:01, 7:02. So that opportunity to be able to perform warm-up becomes very challenging. And they don't necessarily understand how important that is. So this if anything else, is educational components, and so that they'll continue right up through the training stages. Adding in rhythm and coordination runs, understanding better spatial awareness. It's interesting how you see, and all of a sudden it automatically happens, is that 10-year range. Like I said, work with 8-year-olds, the 10-year range, all of a sudden the runs, the tag games, looking to see who they're running into is totally different. They can stay away from crashing into someone, whereas at the age of 6 to 8, they're like the pinballs. They're just falling off each other. Adding in rest and recovery. What do I mean by rest and recovery? Well, there's a couple things on the rest and recovery. Because this is an important stage for the second window of speed development, you wanted the volume for the younger kids is more aerobic stamina. At this age, they're going to need a little bit more rest in between in terms of their speed work. The other thing in terms of that rest and recovery is talking about proper sleep patterns. Many kids, you'll ask in terms of how much sleep they get, although I think they're pretty good, but they might say like 7 hours, 8 hours. How much sleep should a kid get at this age? Anyone here? 11 to 12 hours, absolutely. And I would almost guarantee a lot of kids do not get that sleep. The other thing during that time that we talk about is proper nutrition, educating them on that. How many kids, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on the end, how many kids, when they come to their practice, had something to eat like 2 hours prior to anything else. And not only that, what they had to eat. Most of the time, I remember working camps, some hockey camps over the summer, and it was a day camp. And unfortunately, or fortunately, part of the parents, they had a little cafe style in the rink. So most of the food there was French fries, onion rings, fried chicken, you name it. Soda, Gatorade's another one. And parents would just give them money. So they'd finish up eating, they'd come out, and they'd have a short window to be able to eat. They'd come out to training, and they're like wired. I've lost them already. They're already wired anyways. They already have so much energy. They're gone. And then like 15, 20 minutes into it, what happens? They crash. So that's an important time, and I mentioned rest and recovery just in terms of what should they be eating beforehand, after, and throughout the day. Many kids don't even eat breakfast. So educating. It's also a perfect time for reaction time and agility drills to really spend a little bit more specific time on that, focus on skill and execution, and then also introducing stretching into the cool down. As I said, there's 2 stages of this. Later in the stage components, still continue with the 1 to 7 components, but becomes even more speed work that you would add in. The volume increases in terms of how much speed that you can do. Transitional speed. Transitional speed, also agility, change of direction. Maybe it's shuffling to a sprint. Maybe it's backpedaling to a turn sprint. Explosive lower and upper body strength, plyometrics. Adding in squat squats, just their body weight, maybe adding a medicine ball. I've got a couple slides on that. General lower body and core stability. I think at the young age too, core stability becomes very important, but then again, adding a little bit of variation on planks and standbys. Everybody always has probably done planks many times. Well, now hopefully at that age, if they've done really well from 6 to 8, you just have them do planks and they understand the movement patterns. Now from that 10 to 12-year-old, have them in that plank, but have them raise one foot off the floor. Or if you've got stability balls, put them on a stability ball and do a plank. Those kinds of things. Maybe in a bridge position, working their glutes, they're on their back, their feet are elevated. And I've got a slide that's going to show this. Instead of having their feet on the floor for the young kids, now putting their feet up onto a bleacher to make it even that much more challenging. 1 foot with bridges, those kinds of things. Increase the stretching at the end of the workout. Instead of maybe only 5 minutes of stretching, which I'm sure it's always tough to incorporate in that cool down, maybe go to 10 minutes of stretching. One of the things that we talk about is in terms of at the very beginning, as we get older, our flexibility, our suppleness decreases. And that's the age too that we'll see with girls, the same thing starts to happen as they get older, is that their suppleness or flexibility decreases. That's a reason. Keep them moving, keep them active, adding accomplishment. Monitor volume, intensity, quality, and duration of training. So, because this is during this age, we'll say 10U and 12U, strength is a very, very critical component during this age group. We have 2 windows of strength. We're going to say strength window 1, here, this is what could be in your toolbox. It doesn't have to be, but body weight's just perfect enough. Remember I was saying how that progression, body weight for many of the kids, my kids have even a hard time doing a push-up effectively. So why do I want to have them go onto, say, a stability ball or a medicine ball if they can't do a push-up with just the body weight? Starting them from a bent knee, maybe perhaps, starting them off the wall, that can be the progression. But if you do have those tools, Swiss balls are great. Very familiar with Swiss balls. Some people call them stability balls. I go back and forth with those big balls that are unstable. Great tool to add in. And then medicine balls as that weighted load. So here's just in terms of, I believe, one of your fit deck cards that you will get in terms of being able to perform squats with or without a medicine ball. Again, the most important thing is how can they do it, show them the proper technique without, making sure they sit back on their heels, and then once they have that perfected for 8 to 10 to 12 reps, then add a medicine ball. But once you get to that 12 reps, you add an external load, you need to go back down. Makes sense. As far as strength and other exercises, I mentioned we show with a little competition with the band, pushing and pulling. This is without any equipment. This is just your own body weight. This is just with you and a partner. We'll do this over at the ring today. You're on 1 foot, incorporating balance. And now, set up a line on the floor. You're just trying to tug and pull them over that line. You get a point, little competition in this, makes it a little bit more active. You pull them over that line, you get 1 point. Working in pairs, you sit out, then your next 2 will go in. That way you get a little bit of a rest, let them go, they're done, then you come back in again. First person to 10 wins that competition. The other one is more or less of hopping with pushing. So instead of just that pulling, now you're pushing them back over that line. Okay? Talking a little bit about progression, if they're having a hard time balancing, even being able to do this on 2 feet, would you want to go into 1 foot yet? Start them out on 2, then progress. Developing endurance. I think sometimes, and as I mentioned at the very beginning, in terms of kids and training kids like adults, we always think of endurance as one-fold. Have them go out and run 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles. I don't know about you. I'm not one that likes to run long distances. Some people do. But if I work with, and again, I do have some female athletes that I work with, they would prefer to do that. They'll go out and run 5 miles. And sport specificity, at that age, they shouldn't be. Anyways, one way how you can develop endurance at that young age is more or less of like tag games, freeze tag, bob tag, love it. Any other tag games, and kids have plenty of, as I mentioned before, relays. Setting up drills or exercises that are about 45 to 60 seconds in duration mimic the same demands that you would have them do in terms of the shift sequence. Develop speed through incorporating short duration work that's less than 5 seconds, as I mentioned before. Quickness, agility, change of direction. So here's a little bit of examples in terms of ladder work. Probably everybody here has a ladder, owns a ladder, has used a ladder. Somebody here have a ladder? Okay. Chalk again, tape. Exactly. There's tons and tons of ladder exercises you can do to work on that coordination, that quickness, that balance. And then in terms of jumps and hops, just set up a stick. Work on low-level jumps, 2 feet. Obviously jumps with 2 feet. If you want to add in the hop, it's now to 1 foot. Maybe you do as they get a little bit better. And this is where you need to learn your athletes in terms of where they're at in terms of their development. Once they've done jumps, once they've done hops, maybe then they're ready to do bounding. They go 1 foot. So I figured I'd show a little bit of, I mentioned reaction and agilities. Here's some, it's a fun, always an exciting drill that can be added. With a little tool. Anyone have these, I call them crazy balls, reaction balls? It is a big one. Exactly. And for that age group, he's got to be, I'm bad with ages, he's probably what, about 5, 6 years old. I would use the bigger one for the younger kids because in terms of now being able to visualize, see it better, hold it, and then as they get older, go with the small one, has less of a bounce. But a great opportunity. We'll do a lot of drills with this with, again, go back over the summer with our hockey kids. We'll set up stations and they have fun with it. But you can set up so that they're sprinting after it. They dive, get on the ground, they get dirty. You know, one of the things is let them have fun, get down, get dirty. You know, this is something that obviously if you've got a lot of reaction balls, you can have them go one at a time. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of having that many, so we may end up having them in groups. We'll have them in a group of 4, and we'll say the team that gets to. Let me do this. Can we do a little bit of different things? We'll go for like say 2 minutes. The team that has the fewest bounces is the team that wins. So they collect, they count up all their points together. So as they drop that ball up, they get it off the first bounce, so that counts as 1. The other team, they go, it takes them 15 bounces or tries before they catch it. So they tally that up over time. Once that 1 minute, 2 minutes is up, we'll come in, what you have for score.